There are so many things that worship leaders have to do during the Christmas season, but today I want to talk about 3 things that you should not do during this season.
Hey, I'm Clint Benish, and I want to welcome you to the Worship Leader Toolbox podcast, where our mission is to equip you with ideas and resources to faithfully serve in your local church. Please take a few moments to subscribe to this podcast and give it a 5-star rating and review. But for now, let's join Tim Price as we jump in today.
Worship leaders and worship teams and tech team members experience probably as much as anyone the enormous burden around worship ministry during the Christmas season. With all the extra services, recordings, rehearsals, decorating, meetings, planning, chord charts, new songs, revamped old songs, scheduling, leading tracks, sound checks, conversations, it's only natural to feel a bit overwhelmed. But Christmas is still a great opportunity to reach people, and more than ever, here at the end of this year, people are searching for a hope that only Jesus can provide. Music part of worship is such a critical part of the Christmas season. It's no wonder that we have a lot on our plates, but we also know that it's worth it. But to top it all off, for this year, so many of us and so many churches are doing new things and using new methods to celebrate Christmas during the pandemic. The combination of all this and the growing to-do list caused me today to stop and think about 3 things that I don't want us to do. Number 1, don't give up. This isn't typically the best time to make rash employment decisions or decisions about how you feel about your church. When the going gets tough and schedules are out of control, it's easy to get down about your ministry and your role. Live through the valley, if you feel like you're walking through one now, and make a strategic decision about your job later if you need to. And really, there's a good chance that next calendar year will roll around in a month or so here, and you'll be chomping at the bit to regroup and refocus and lead your ministry well. And as you're not giving up on things, don't give up on the Spirit at work in you as you serve your pastor and your church in general. With all the multiple services and schedules and planning for special events around Christmas, there is some strain as opinions, options, and desires really abound within your team. Everybody has an idea for Christmas, and that's good. You want to capitalize on those. But stay engaged, stay connected, and help coordinate to the best of your ability. And don't give up on connections with your team. Now is the time to move toward your team and not away from. And then on a personal note, and this is probably for me more than anybody, but we can't give up on our basic habits and structures, such as devotional life, prayer times, healthy food, good bedtime routines, good sleep, and exercise. It's a season where it's easy to kind of throw in the towel and figure that we'll just deal with it later. But to the best of your ability, don't give up on those things. That's number 1. The second thing is that we shouldn't do at Christmas as worship leaders, and that is don't tweak your systems. Most of our worship leader planning and strategy systems get stretched during this heavy season. We're not really set up for the regular stuff, plus all the other stuff, plus all the little incidentals that just happen of Christmas time things. And so now isn't the best time to restructure or tweak your system. There's a good chance you may need to do some of that. There's also a good chance that your systems are fine for 11 and a half months of the year. But for sure, keep some notes about how you might like to change things in the new year. But now is not the time to make big sweeping announcements or emails sent to your team regarding the culture and the structure and the practices of your ministry. It's fine to have a simple goal this Christmas. And maybe that goal is just to, focus your team and yourself on leading great music this year, and make that goal a focus for yourself. And then you can tweak your systems and other things later. Another simple focus may be just building a relationship with your team. And some of that might just entail calling to talk to your team members, to talk through details or share stories, or spend time visiting after rehearsal instead of always trying to figure out solutions to issues that may be going on. Of course, all those things are important. And just the last couple of weeks, I spent some time with our folks just after worship, kind of hashing out what needed to be changed and what needed to happen. And I left both of those meetings kind of thinking to myself, yeah, I've got to lay low a little bit on some of the pushing hard for getting things done. And of course, we want to be excellent. We want things to be good, and they're great team members. They'll be able to figure that out. But as far as all of us together during this season, we don't want to spend a lot of time trying to rehash and tweak our systems. That will come later. We'll have time to figure that out as the new year approaches. So we don't want to give up. We don't want to tweak our systems. And here's the third thing that we don't want to do during this Christmas season. And here's the third one. Don't forget to celebrate. And I know that's a bit of a double negative, but we need to celebrate and to share the good things with our team and our church. It might take a little more creativity to figure out how to celebrate your ministry this year, but it is going to be needed. And I'm thinking about one possibility for celebrating is to create just a quick newsletter specifically for our worship and hospitality team members to mark some of the milestones that we've hit since the spring of this year when the pandemic kind of brought everything to a screeching halt. So I've, for starters, just been making a list of some of those great things that have happened in ministry. And really just writing down that list has caused me to be able to see God's hand and faithfulness at work. And that is a cause for celebration. We want to make sure that we're listing out the things that have been good, the things that have worked, the things that we've been forced to change, and the innovations that have come, and the digital ministry, and the opportunity we've had to reach more people in different ways. And so, of course, there's been a lot of things that we haven't wanted to deal with, and a lot of things that nobody would ever want to have to repeat, but we have things to celebrate. God has still been at work. The church has still been moving forward. There's still been an opportunity to proclaim the name of Jesus and the gospel message, all the different ways we can mark those down. Some of the ways that I've been thankful for our ministry has been the new approach to being able to stream the services. And I know that's just a standard one across the church world right now. We've talked about that for a long time and have done bits and pieces of it. And we've done recordings and we've done YouTube, and we've sort of just had it on the back burner. And then all of a sudden this year, we kind of wired up our buildings and our spaces for worship and made it possible with all the different team members who put a lot of time into this to stream the services and to do them almost concurrently as we've gone back to in-person worship and then back out of in-person worship. There's just a lot of different ways that we can celebrate and a lot of different things that we can share. We want to share that with our team members and encourage them with it. The second part of not forgetting to celebrate is not forgetting to celebrate at home. And this, again, might take work and it might take some creativity, but find ways to be available, emotionally present, personally available with your friends and family as you connect with them this Christmas season. And in all the ways that Christmas is busy, there are several things that have changed for this year. The in-person things have just shifted. The Christmas plays and concerts and brunches and other things that we've had on our plate for so many calendar years are all of a sudden wiped away, and other things have filled those gaps, but those things may not be quite as evening intensive. And so the recordings and the details might be more in the daytime, and for church staff, ministry, worship leaders, there might be more opportunity this Christmas season just to be at home, connecting on a personal level. Take advantage of that. Don't forget to celebrate Christmas with your family at home. Advent, followed by the Christmas season, is the start to the Christian year, and we have so much for which we can be grateful. So here's just a challenge to you. Have fun playing Christmas music this year. Whether you're on the spectrum of not liking Christmas music or loving it all year long, have fun playing it. Have fun leading, serving, and recording. Sing loudly and sing joyfully. And don't worry if you are rehashing stuff from the last couple years. In conversation with my brother, he was just talking about how in some ways people are longing the sense of Christmas 2019. So go ahead and crank out some songs you did last year. It'll make it a little bit easier, and you'll be able to have a fresh perspective as you lead. Patiently, kindly, and with lots of fun, hard work with your teams, lift up the name of Jesus this Christmas season. Don't give up. Don't worry about your systems right now. And don't forget to celebrate. Thanks for listening to the Worship Leader Toolbox podcast. Hey, a quick note here. If you're still listening at the end of this podcast, we appreciate you being a part of this and wanted to share about the Acoustic Christmas album. About 10 years ago, for a fundraiser for a mission trip, we recorded Tim Price Acoustic Christmas, all instrumental guitar. And it is available everywhere you listen to music: Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple. All you have to do is Google Tim Price Acoustic Christmas. I would love to have you share that or add it to a playlist or use it for anything that might be helpful for you as you go through this Christmas season. And all the money raised from downloads and streaming and all those various ways that that album is out there goes back into Harvest Ministry and as a result into Worship Leader Toolbox. And so love to have you take part in that with us and listen to it. Just Google Tim Price Acoustic Christmas and you can pull that album up. Thanks again for listening today to the Worship Leader Toolbox podcast.